Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to implement Dagger2. In this video we are going to use MVVM, we are going to use Retrofit to making the API call. Also we are going to display the data on RecyclerView. So let's begin by adding the dependencies. So first dependency we need to add Dagger2. So Dagger, the Google one we need. The second dependency is we need Dagger compiler. The same Google Dagger. Another dependency we need for the retrofit, and we are going to use Retrofit2. With retrofit we need JSON converter, same Retrofit2 one. Also we need to use the view model, so I am adding the dependency for view model. And last dependency we need for the glide, as we are going to use for image. So we need a small change in this dependency. So instead of implementation for the Dagger compiler, we need annotation processor. So you need to make this change. Now sync your project. And in our main activity, I'm adding a RecyclerView, as we are going to make the API call and get the data and displayed on the RecyclerView. And I'm giving the ID as a RecyclerView. Now we need to add separate package for the Dagger, and the another package I am adding for the models. So this is just to differentiate some classes. So inside Dagger I'm creating first class for the retro module. And let's implement this class. So we need this, since this is the module, so we need to annotate it with the module. And this is the class which is going to return us the retrofit instance. So this is the URL which we are going to hit. So I'm keeping it, and we need just this in the as a base URL. Rest of the portion we'll use it in our interface. And here I'm creating a function which returns the retrofit instance. This is the same step we used to do in my other videos as well. Now we need to annotate this function with the provides and singleton. So this function I'm creating as a singleton. Another interface we need retro service interface. So this is the same interface which where we have our function like with the get post methods, and it returns us the call. So I'm giving it as a name get data from API, and this function need to get a query inside a URL, as you see here. So queue and the repositories as the part of URL. And now the value of the query we are going to input from the user. And what kind of data it's going to return? So let's create a model now. So I'm creating a one model recycler list that is going to return us. Let's check inside the JSON. So it's the items of array. So that is the array list of some types, but that's name is items. So let's create another model class and give it a name RecyclerData. And inside the data we need to keep a name, and second parameter we need as the description. You can find description, and another parameter we need avatar URL here, but that comes under the owner. So we need to create another class that will call owner, and we'll declare another variable as owner. And now we'll create constructor first and the setter getter for this whole variable. Now we'll pass this recycler data inside our array list, and owner class will having another string that is avatar URL. And now we'll create a constructor for this class, also the setter getter for this class. And now we'll pass this recycler data and we'll generate our setter getter and constructor for recycler list as well. Now we'll pass this recycler list inside our interface, and we'll import this one. Now I'm creating another function inside our retro module, which is going to return retro service instance, interface instance. And similarly, we will annotate this function as a provide also singleton. So network layer is ready now, and we'll be creating another class. Actually, it's an interface that will call retro component. So for Dagger, we need a component, and we will annotate it as a singleton, and we'll define it as component, and we'll pass inside our module, and we'll give the class name, the retro module dot class. And inside this interface we'll create a function that is public void inject, and inside this will be passing the class name where we are going to use. So in our case it's going to be a view model. So let's create a view model now, and we'll pass this view model. So in the view model only we can annotate this, or we can inject that particular module. Let's implement our view model now. And this live data, we are returning it just to observe on the activity. So I'm creating another function for this, which is going to return this observable. Now I'm creating a separate function just to make the API call. We forgot to initialize this live data list, so let's initialize it first of all. Now we will inject our retro module, retro service interface. So now we can directly access this retro service interface without initializing it by the new keyword. And this is the value I'm passing as a query parameter, New York, that is going to hit inside the API URL. If response is successful, then we'll send the data back to the observer. That will be in our main activity. And if the response is not successful, I'm simply sending a null so that we can display some toast or any message to the user. Similarly, if API got failed, then also we are going to send null. Now we'll implement our main activity. So we'll be initializing our recycler view now. Now I'm setting the layout manager. Now setting the adapter. So since we don't have an adapter, so let's create a new adapter for our recycler view. And now we are creating a layout for our recycler row. So I'm simply adding a one image view on left hand side and two text view on the right hand side. Our layout is ready, so now we'll be using it. I'm declaring a data, what kind of a data this adapter is going to hold. And in this onCreateViewHolder function, we'll be inflating our layout. And we'll pass the same name which we just now created. And now we'll set the data to our text view. And now we'll set the image using the glide, and we'll pass the URL which is coming from the API. and here we'll pass our image view. And inside our adapter we need to create a function to set the data for this adapter. And now we'll create an instance of that adapter we just now created. Now we'll call this init RecyclerView function from the onCreate function. Now I'm creating another function that is for get data. So this function will call to get the data from the API and update and set that updated data to the adapter. So here first of all I'm creating an instance of view model. And here we'll check if recycler list is null or not. So if it is not null, then we'll set this list to our adapter by calling the set list data, and we'll pass the data we received from view model. And then we'll call adapter dot notify dataset change. In case of the data, in case we received the null, because in case of failure we are sending null from the view model, so we'll display a toast to the user. And now we'll call this get data function as well from the onCreate function of our activity. Now, since we are making the API calls, so we need to add the permission, internet permission. It's time to create one more class that is called the my application that will extend our application class. And we'll override onCreate function of this class, and inside our onCreate we will initialize our Dagger. So this Dagger component will be initialized as soon as our application will launch and onCreate function will call. And this Dagger retro component is built automatically at the compile time, so you don't need to create this class as a separate class. and I'm creating a function which is going to return the retro component object. Now we need to set this application class inside our application tag. Let's run our application and see how it look like. So there is no data. We missed something. Okay, so we forgot to call our view model make API call function. Now it will call. It's a crash. Let's see. So our view model have null pointer, so it's not able to find M service. It's null still. Okay, so we did not initialize our. We need to get the application context and get the retro module here. So we got the retro component, and now we need to inject our view model. Now let's run our application again and see. There you go. So guys, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you.